Do you want to create Arabic or Hebrew multi-language websites using Webflow? Then you've come to the right place. This is Davor from Derokki, and in this video I will talk about RTLflow, my new Webflow framework for right-to-left multi-language web development. You'll learn how RTLflow works, how it saves me weeks when building Webflow enterprise websites for the Middle East, and how you can do the same for your next RTL project. So stay until the end of the video to find out. 14 months ago, I got my first big freelance opportunity from the Gulf region. My task was to develop a large website for a client based in the United Arab Emirates. They would provide the Figma design, and I would bring it to life using Webflow. It would also require a multi-language setup using English and Arabic. Note that Webflow localization didn't exist at the time, so that was not an option. Therefore, my idea was to build out the English version first and then simply translate it to Arabic using a third-party translation tool called Linguana. However, one big problem came up. While English is written left to right, Arabic reads the opposite way, right to left. So that meant besides translating, I would also have to flip the HTML document direction. Try this. Visit any website, go into the developer console, click on the HTML tag and add an attribute called direction is RTL. This will flip the page direction to right to left. I guarantee you that text will align wrong, the layout will break, certain elements might not even work or be visible anymore. Matter of fact is, very few websites are RTL friendly, and mine definitely wasn't. At that point, my website had 50 unique pages, so there was no way I would override my CSS mistakes by hard coding hundreds of lines. So my last result was to duplicate the entire project. We would basically have two separate instances, one English project and one Arabic project. This allowed me to fully customize the Arabic version without affecting the English build. Now, don't get me wrong, this approach worked and the project became a major success. However, this also came with numerous disadvantages. I spent a week fixing the Arabic version using AR combo classes, and it took another week to rebuild custom components like sliders from scratch. This messed up the code structure quite a bit. It made the project less scalable and harder to maintain over time, despite using client first, which, in case you don't know, is the industry standard CSS framework for organizing Webflow websites. We had to spend another 2 weeks manually translating and adding the Arabic copy back into Webflow, instead of simple machine translating with a third-party multi-language tool, or Webflow localization. I also had to personally replace text on website parts the translators couldn't access, for example, navigation bar links. We also lost the benefits of SEO automation, for example, having to manually index on Google or setting up the language switch. And post-launch, I would always have to make changes on both languages, resulting in double work. The double hosting costs can also become a big problem with higher plans, for example, Webflow Enterprise. So the result? We spent weeks in extra work on development, translation and deployment. And the project became less scalable. All because the website wasn't RTL friendly. Now, even if you had Webflow localization back then, at the time of this video being recorded, you would need the enterprise plan to customize different locals. So if you want to save those costs, the website should still be RTL friendly 100%. At the time, I didn't have a system to develop RTL friendly or bi-directional websites in Webflow. But now I do. I spent the last 9 months creating a powerful Webflow framework so you can avoid all the pains I had to go through. With this system, I save everyone involved weeks of effort. It helps me develop Webflow projects in record time for some of the largest organizations in the Gulf region. And now I'm giving this system away for free. Introducing RTLflow. RTLflow comes with an improved clonable style guide, extending client first with over 80 new classes, components and attribute solutions. These allow us to build fully functional RTL-friendly websites and deploy any RTL multi-language setup strategy with little effort. Let me show you how it looks like. So this is how the RTLflow homepage looks like, and you can get rid of this and start building a website. But what I want to showcase you first is these two pages. You've got the Styleguide page and a RTLflow elements page. So if we visit the Styleguide page, This is essentially where you build out your client first page, as you would usually do, right? So there's no difference. You put in your text, your heading, styles, you add in your colors, buttons, whatever. And once you've done this, you can go to the RTLflow elements page, and this is where you have all the attributes, classes, and global components associated with RTLflow. And we have a full list of them here. You can go through each of them to learn about them. If you want to start, building English, or like left to right first, and then you translate over to right to left, for example, you do an English Arabic project, this setup is the way you go. But let's say you want to start from Arabic or Hebrew. What you're going to do is you're going to open up here this panel, and then you add in the global LTR element. And this changes the building direction to right to left. And you've got instructions here on how to work with that, but we're going to revert this, and we're going to actually build an English project that we're going to translate to Arabic. All right, so I built out this English page using the traditional client-first approach. Now, this looks good on LTR, of course. Let's say we want to test out how this looks like on Arabic, on right to left. So we're going to add in the global RTL element, and then we can simply test it out. This is how it would look like on the other direction. Now you can see there's already a few mistakes, right? So let's go through them each, step by step. So, for example, here you can see you've got this margin right, which basically adds the margin on the right side. We want to flip this around. We want this to be on the other side. So we're not going to use margin right. We're going to instead use margin inline end. We can combine it with the client first spacing classes, and there we go. Now the spacing is on the left side, on right to left, and vice versa, right? Very beautiful. Let's say this text, which is aligned to the right on left to right, we want to flip it around. So we're not going to use text align right. Instead, we're going to use text align end. Beautiful. This arrow, for example, this needs to flip direction. So we're going to add in RTL icon mirror. There we go. Let's go down here. You can see a slider. It doesn't look that well. We're going to get back to it. But this navigation, this has to be on the side, right? So this is absolutely positioned. And instead of using this, you want to flip the 0 and to auto on RTL. So we're not going to use the default stuff here. We're going to actually use inset inline start. And if you now remove the RTL element, you can see it's actually on the start here, and it's also on the start here, right? Say here, for example, we've got an English form and an Arabic form, right? You might want to collect newsletter emails, so you need two different forms. So on English, we just want to show this one, and on Arabic, this one. What we can do is we can just go in there, we can say, okay, RTL display none, and on Arabic, it's going to be RTL display block. And now if I remove the RTL, we're only going to see, well, let me see why this doesn't work. Sorry, because the Arabic has to show. So the Arabic, of course, we want to have it hidden. And then on RTL, it's going to show, right? We add in back this component like this. Now it's only Arabic here. And this is just a few of the things. Now, how you have in the navigation bar, you have this like menu opening. So if I simply, open up the menu, it comes from the right side. If you want to flip it around on RTL, we can actually do it natively, right? So if I add in the RTL element, you can see that despite the menu being on the other side, it still comes from the right. So and another thing, of course, is the slider, which should kind of run the other direction. You can see it's kind of not the correct way. So we've got attribute solutions for that. So if you go into the global styles and you go into attributes, you can see we have a few attribute solutions for slider, for nav open, and other stuff. So, let's use that code and actually add in some of the attributes here. So we're going to use here the menu. We want to reverse the menu on RTL. So we're going to use this attribute, get back in here, get up here, add the attribute, and it's going to be, I believe, RTL navbar, right? And then down here, got the slider, which again we have to check here. Slider is gonna be, where is it? RF reverse v slider is slider. Alright, so we're gonna add it to the slider, to the main component, like this. Is a slider. Beautiful. And by the way, I just realized that this is probably not with an underscore, with a normal one. And if you now go on the live side, you can see now that the menu opens up from the other side and the slider is running from right to left. Of course, there are a lot more solutions than just this, but that's just a glimpse and just an introduction to what you can do to make a site RTL friendly. RTLflow also comes with a set of custom code solutions to help make Webflow native elements all RTL friendly, including Webflow sliders, navigation, drop-down and tabs links, the lightbox, block quotes, lists, normal quotes, captions, as well as the form checkbox and the form radio. Now when it comes to deployment, you can simply set up Linguana within minutes by using our simple custom code base, use separate projects or even folders if you prefer that approach, or deploy with Webflow's native localization, which at the time of this recording is launching for everyone next month, without having to worry about custom CSS on different locals. It doesn't matter which languages you need. RTLflow is the perfect starting point for any RTL Webflow project. You can find our RTLflow showcase projects on the Derokki profile. Simply go to the showcase page and open up the read-only link to see how we solved various RTL multi-language problems. Now in the future, you can expect more in-depth YouTube tutorials, expanded documentation, and a deeper look into Webflow localization. I am giving all this content away for free. My only ask is that you share this video with one friend of yours who could benefit from this. This way you can help me spread the word and we can work together on this mission to establish Webflow and revolutionize web development in the Middle East. Thank you for watching this video. You can get started by cloning the official RTLflow style guide. The link is in the description. Cheers!